changing the evaporator coil on my wife's 2010 Ford Mustang GT. Little tip and trick here for these heater hoses. You can see the heater hose is back behind the intake manifold. Give you a perspective here. And they're a real pain to get to. What I found is a small pair of channel locks. Opened up almost all the way up on the last setting. You take them, you put them down here, and you can get to the clips on the back side of this fitting that goes on from the heater hose to the heater core. This one slides on there like that and locks into place. This opening at the top, there's one at the bottom. There's a white clip that stays right here. You can barely see it. Stays on the heater core pipe coming out of the firewall. You have to compress the top and bottom where these little holes are on that white clip. At the same time, pushing the heater hose in towards the firewall. Squeeze it with these channel locks. And then I found to take this pry bar, wedge it like this between the bottom hose and the top hose and pry towards the car and pop the fitting off just like that. Super simple. I've been fighting this thing for about 30 minutes trying to figure out how I could get in there and get it. And I finally went and got these channel locks out of my toolbox and they worked flawlessly. I'll show you what I got inside. The dashboard taken out, set back. I'm not taking it completely out of the car, just moving it back, give me enough room to get this air conditioning and heat system out. I'll be taking this out next as soon as I get the rest of those hoses disconnected. I'm going to continue on and I'll update another video here in a few minutes. Alright, I got the air conditioning unit out of the car. I'm going to have to separate this in order to get in here. This is the evaporator coil for the AC. It's the heater core lines. I'm going to go ahead and replace the heater core while I'm in here. That way the car's only 8 years old, but in a few years if the heater core goes out, or it was going to go out, I'll already be ahead of the game. I don't really want to do this again. So I'm going to go ahead and change both of them. The evaporator coil started leaking. I'm going to go ahead and replace the heater core while I'm in there. One thing that Ford did, they basically weld this thing together. It's like a puddle weld, plastic, where there should have been screws. They're welding them, so I'm having to take a drill bit and drill these out. Sorry, it's kind of dark. It's getting dark out here. Alright, just like that. What I'm going to do is go through here, drill all these out. As you can see, I've already started. Once I do that, I'll be able to separate this unit, pull out both evaporator coil and the heater core, put the new ones in. One thing you got to make sure of when you do the evaporator coil, when you take this piece off, this is the new one, and you put that piece on right here, this header piece, make sure that the O-rings, you replace the O-rings. Got a set of brand new O-rings right here. Very important. You don't want to do all this and then end up with a leak again inside your evaporator coil area or the firewall right here, where this is going to be sticking through. But anyway, I'm going to get to this, separating this thing and getting both these changed out and then get back to putting them back together. Alright, I've gotten this all put back together, and as you can see where I had to drill out these factory welds, plastic welds that they had holding this thing together. I've reinstalled these screws right here. It's like they had pre-drilled holes in this thing from the factory, 4 screws, but they never screwed it. They plastic welded it together. I had to drill that out, like I said, and now I've got it back together and I've secured it with screws. I'm about to put it back in the car. This thing is it's quite a job. Just another screw there. it all back together. I've got the new evaporator coil in there, the new heater coil, heater core, and it all back together, fixing to reinstall it in the car. As you can see, I didn't take the dashboard completely out of the car. There's still some wires connected. I just kind of pushed it back towards the back seat, give me enough room to access this. That's where the evaporator coil and heater core go through the firewall. It's your cabin filter. Put a new one in there. You can access that from underneath the hood. You take the cowl off between the windshield and the hood. You can get in there and access it, but I went ahead and replaced that while I was in here. Alright, I'm about to put it back together.